All right, so now we're going to write some quadratic equations from context. Doug has 16 square pieces of wood. Each piece of wood has a side length of s centimeters. The total area of all 16 pieces of wood is 400 square centimeters. Create a quadratic equation to represent this situation. So it's always a good idea to kind of write down or draw an image of a word problem if you're having trouble understanding it. And this is definitely one that you're going to want to try to do that. So it says that there's 16 square pieces of wood. So you can imagine a square piece of wood, and then just, we're not going to write 16 of them, but in your mind, have 16 of them, and each of the side lengths are s. So the side length of this square piece of wood is s. So it's s times s. So each side length, the area of that, when you multiply it together, this is 1s squared in area. Now there's 16 of them. So we need to multiply this by 16. Okay, so we're going to multiply this by 16. And so we got 16s squared, 16 square pieces of wood. Okay, and so finally it says that altogether that area is going to add up to 400 square centimeters. So I don't know what the side length is other than it's s, but I do know that it needs to combine and it needs to become 400. And then we wrote ourselves a quadratic equation. Okay, Shane is making a garden. In the garden, he has a side length of 2x and a width of 3x plus 30. Altogether, he knows that the garden should be 250 square yards total. So I'm going to make myself, it's a garden, so we can kind of have a rectangle here. And one side is 2x, and the other side is 3x plus 30. And I know that altogether this is going to be 250. So to make this a quadratic equation, I simply take 2x and I multiply that by 3x plus 30. And that's going to be equal to 250. Okay, and last one. Liz is hanging a painting in her house. Compared to the square window, the painting is 10 inches taller and 4 inches wider. The painting takes up an area of 2,500 square inches. So the reason why the window is in here is it's something that we can use as a variable. We don't know the size of the window, but we know that the window, one side is 10 inches taller and the other side is 4 inches wider. Okay, and just a visual representation other than this algebraic representation. Here's a window, and then the painting is this length on this side is the window plus 10. I think, is that the taller? Ooh, okay, so I kind of have this inverted, but for all intents and purposes, you should know what I mean. This painting is the window and then 10 inches, and then tall-wise or lengthwise, it's W plus 4. Okay, and so that's going to be equal to 2,500 square inches.